Hello everyone, welcome in today's session. Today we are going to see chapter 1, Matters in our surrounding. In this chapter, first part we will see the properties of matters. Now first, what is mean by matter? So matter is anything which occupies space and has mass. So you can take any example, computer, mouse, table, chair, book, pencil, chalk, anything, air, water, all these occupy space and has mass, so they all are matter, right? So anything which occupies space and has mass is known as matter. Now these matters are classified in a various types. See here, earlier Indian philosophers are there. They have classified these matters into 5 forms. And which are these 5 forms? These are air, earth, fire, sky and water. And that is what we are calling them as a Panchatattva. Now, on the basis of physical state of a matter, in which state matter is present, that is classified as solid, liquid and gases. Now, solid, you can take an example, table, chair, book, pencil. Liquid, you can take an example, milk, oil, water. Gas, you can take an example, air or any oxygen gas, hydrogen gas, carbon dioxide gas, nitrogen gas, right? On the basis of chemical composition of matter, it is classified as a pure substance and a mixture. Pure substance means it has only one substance in it, right? So pure substance, you can take an example as a jewelry. If it is made up of only gold, then gold is an pure substance. Silver, it is in a pure substance. Water, if you are taking, it will have hydrogen and oxygen, but it is in a compound form. But if it is there only H2O molecules together, then it is a pure, right? If you are taking a mixture, right? So water contains H2O plus dissolved oxygen and carbon dioxide, then that time it will become a mixture. Another example is air around us, which is present. In the atmosphere, in the air, we have nitrogen, oxygen, argon, carbon dioxide, all they have in a various composition. So it forms a mixture. Another any mixtures example you can take, like lemon water is there, tea is there. So it has a mixture of various components. So these matters are classified based on their chemical compositions. They are made up of, classified as a pure substance and a mixture. In pure substance, what it is included? Elements and compounds. Elements example already I said gold, silver, means only single atom. And compound example H2O, CO2. It is also pure, but it has a compound. Why? Because it is made up of carbon and oxygen gives carbon dioxide. So it is a compound. Hydrogen and oxygen gives water. So that's why it is compound. So wherever all H2Os are there, it is a pure water, right? Wherever only CO2 molecules are there, it is a pure compound. Only carbon is there, then it is element. Only oxygen is there, single O, then it is element. But when oxygen plus oxygen gives O2, then it will become a compound, right? Mixtures are also classified as homogeneous mixture and heterogeneous mixture based on they are made up of. If a mixture is a evenly distributed everywhere, then it is a homogeneous mixture. If a mixture is not evenly distributed everywhere, then it is a heterogeneous. Homogeneous mixture example you can take lemon water. If you squeeze lemon in water, dissolve sugar in it, then everywhere in the glass of lemon water, lemon will be distributed throughout the glass evenly. Sugar is also dissolved throughout the glass of water evenly. It's not like that the upper surface more sugar is there, more lemon is there, and at base it is less, and the middle it is very less. Not like that. Everywhere the taste of the lemon water will be the same. So it is called as a homogeneous mixture. Heterogeneous mixture means wherever these components are not distributed evenly, means somewhere their concentration is more, somewhere their concentration is less. Take an example. If you have mixed sand and iron filling, then whenever you are mixing, maybe some of the area will be there where the iron fillings will be more, some of the area will be there where sand particles are more, means they are not evenly distributed. You can collect the sample at different places, they will have the different composition of these two compounds. So that's why it is called as a heterogeneous mixture. Now see the physical nature of a matter. Now in this physical nature of matter, physically how the matter is. First point, matter is made up of particles. Second point, the particles of matters are very tiny, means very small, right? Third, the particles of matter have a space between them. All these matters, particles are there, they are not compactly attached. There is a space between them. Particles of matters are continuously moving, not stable. The particles of matter attract each other. Now we will see all these points in a detail, right? Now in that, see the first point, matter is made up of a particle. Now for that activity is given. So in this activity you have to take water in a beaker. Then first you have to mark the level. This is the level of the water, right? Then you have to dissolve some amount of sugar in it, right? Then stir with a glass rod. Once this full sugar is dissolved in the water, then you will have the sugar solution. And once again you can check the level of the water. It will be remain same, right? Means what? This sugar is already mixed into the water, but whatever the amount of sugar we added in it, this does not rises the level of the water. It is get mixed in this. Means somewhere water molecules are there in between the two water molecules. Whatever the gap is there in between that gap, these sugar molecules get mixed. You can see here the in between the water molecules, sugar molecules are there, right? So this pink color sugar molecules are there, blue color water molecules are there. So this shows that, this activity shows that this matter is made up of particles, and even your third point, that particles of matter have a space between them, right? So these particles are very tiny. Every matter is made up of a small particles, and they have a space between them. Next point, the particles of matters are very tiny. So for this also one more activity is there. In that, see, take one beaker, in that take 100 ml water and add few crystals of potassium permanganate. And you know that when the potassium permanganate is dissolved in the water, it gives a purple color. Now you can see this beaker having 100 ml water with a few crystals of potassium permanganate having dark purple color. Then take out of 100 ml 10 ml solution in a test tube and add this into another 100 ml 90 ml water, right? So this 10 ml and this 90 ml, it will becomes again 100 ml. Now you can see the color change, means this becomes dilute, right? So whatever the few amount of potassium permanganate has come in this test tube, again it is evenly distributed into the solutions, again divided and distributed. Again you take the 10 ml into the test tube, add in a 90 ml of water, then whole it will becomes 100 ml, right? Again you can see the change in the color, right? So again whatever the small amount of potassium permanganate is there, it is get evenly distributed in this 100 ml water. Means again the potassium permanganate becomes small and get distributed. Again you can take 10 ml water, 10 ml solution from this beaker and take 90 ml water and add in that, right? So it will become a 100 ml. Now again you can see the color change. Again it becomes a lighter. Means you can see that the very small amount of potassium permanganate from these all solutions again have the capacity to give color to the water. Means it can evenly distribute. So we can see that the particles of matters are very tiny and they can evenly distribute into the water. So by this we can conclude the matter is made up of very tiny particles. Next, the particles of matter have space between them. This already we have seen that dissolving sugar or salt in the water and the level of the water will not be changed. Already we have seen, even you can do this at home. Take a glass of water, transparent glass, take a water, mark that level, add 1 spoon of sugar or salt in that, dissolve and just check. Is the level is rising? Is there change in the level? If not, means what? In water molecule there is a space and in that space these molecules of sugar or salt is get fixed and that's why the level of the water does not rise. Next, particles of matters are continuously moving. Now for that, this is the activity. Take a beaker of water, in that put a drop of ink, right? Either it is blue or red or you can keep color also, right? And keep it undisturbed. What you will observe, whatever the color drop we have kept, slowly these molecules start to move. Here the color drop is there where the color molecules are highly concentrated, so they will start to move in water, right? Everywhere, and slowly the whole color will become a blue in color. How this is possible? Because of diffusion. These molecules moves from its higher concentration to its lower concentration, and that's why finally it becomes evenly colored without stirring, without moving by themselves, right? So this is what proves that the molecules are continuously moving, and because of this these molecules of color move throughout this water and gives a even color throughout the water. So this proves that molecules are continuously moving. Even in case of gas also you can see the molecules are continuously in the motion and applies pressure on their surface. So this is what proves that the molecules are in continuously motion. If you want to see one more example, do one a very simple thing. Take a incense stick, agarbatti, right? And just observe the smoke which is released from that agarbatti. Slowly it goes, and slowly these particles of the smoke get distributed in the air. So they are continuously moving. There you can trace the movement of the particles in the air. So very simple activity you can do at home, right? So this will gives you idea how the molecules are moving. Another thing is that whenever anyone applies perfume in any corner of the house, then also you will get a smell. This is just because of these molecules are mixed into the air and reach to your nose. That's why you come to know the smell. Or even if your mother is cooking very tasty dish in the kitchen of your favorite dish, then also by sitting in study room or in a hall you will come to know that what mother is cooking in the kitchen. So this is one more example which proves that molecules are moving, mix into the air and reach to you, right? And that's why you come to know. See the next point, the particles of matter attract each other. Means every particle has a power of attraction and they will attract each other, right? That's why they are together. Here activity is that you can take iron nail. See the examples. What are these? Iron nail, piece of chalk, rubber band, and you can try to break them. First thing is that iron nail. If you are hammering them, it will not be break, right? It will take a very huge power, right? Then next, piece of chalk, that you can easily break, right? And rubber band, if you apply pressure on the rubber band, it will stretch but will not break easily, right? So here easily chalk will be break, right? A rubber band, it is very difficult to break, but it can be break if you apply more pressure. But iron nail, it is not easy to break, right? Easily it will not break. So these are the three examples of the matter, and even one can break very easily, another will break when you apply little bit more pressure, and the third one is that it will not break at all. Why? Because every matter's molecules are there, their force of attraction is there, it is different. Chalk's particles are there, their force of attraction is there, it is little bit weak. That's why you can break them very easily, right? Even rubber band, there is a force of attraction but stronger than the chalk and weaker than the nail, right? That's why you can apply more pressure, then it will break. And nail, they have very strong force of attraction, that's why they cannot easily break. Take an example of air. If you will move hand in the air, you can pass it very easily, because these air particles are there, you can break them very easily, right? With very low pressure, and that's why you can move your hand very smoothly in the air. Can you do that the same in the solid substances? No. Why? Because the solid molecules, solid substances are there, their molecules have the more force of attraction, so you cannot break them very easily, right? So this is what your next point, particles of matter attract each other. Here you can see, this is the picture which will show you the arrangement of the molecules of solid. This is the picture which will show you the arrangement of the molecules in the liquid, and this is the picture where the gaseous molecules arrangement is there. So space between the molecules in gaseous is very more, so that's why you can easily move your hand. Liquid, even you can pass your hand in the liquid, because of that the space in the molecule is more and you can break their forces very easily. In the solid, the force of attraction is very high, you cannot break them very easily, right? So this is what the particles of matter attracts each other, more than less, and it is very less. So this is what the properties of the matters. We have seen 5 properties of the matters. This is your first point in the textbook with the various activities. You read this point and prepare well, and whatever the activities as said, and whatever the observations you will observe while doing the activity, just share that me with the help of a video. I will see that.